If you wanna find me, yeah, I'm in the front row. Got my 2 tickets on me, I'm in the front row. It's the best place to be, yeah, I'm in the front row. Best place to be, yeah. If you wanna find me, yo, I'm in the front row. Got my 2 tickets on me, I'm in the front row. It's the best place.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the In the Front Row YouTube channel. I'm your host, Dylan, joined by my co-host, Shereen, and Fredo is back this week. Guys, how are you doing? How are you holding up during this quarantine?
Well, I was happy because I got my lashes done. I got my nails done. I'm not going to tell you everything I got done, but I realized, like, I spent the week getting everything done that I've been trying to do on my own. It's hard to be a woman in COVID quarantine, but now it's all closed up again in LA, so I hope it lasts more than 2 weeks, whatever I have got done.
The news broke today. Fredo, how are you holding up? You're back on our channel.
Yeah, I'm back on my feet, back on this field, trying to, go through this whole craziness in the world. But it's wonderful. Everything's going good. So I'm just back to go ahead and talk about the sports because, we got a lot to talk about.
Way too much.
Yeah.
Way too much to talk about. I'm just mad. Well, I'm not mad. I understand why they closed down. I'm wearing a hat because I need my hair done. But that's another.
Squeeze that in there.
That's another conversation for another day. No, I agree with the shutdown, but that's a whole other conversation that we can have off camera. Guys, we have a lot of sports to get into. I just want to say Josh, is our social media manager, is not going to join us tonight. He hopefully will be back soon. Just want to give him a shout out. So we're going to talk about the TBT first because, Shereen, I know you've had your eyes on it all throughout the week, so I do want to come to you first. Give us your reactions and kind of give Fredo and I guess, a rundown of what's been going on in the TBT tournament.
It's really exciting basketball because these people are playing for $1 million. And, the first round was the people that, the lowest ranking out of all the teams had to play in round 1. And the only team that made it to the Final Four from that round was Sideline Cancer, and they were ranked number 22. And the winners from last season, Carmen, I think it was Carmen, they lost in their first game, which was the second round. And it's just been so exciting. And the thing is that the announcers, they had to really get to know these players, and they played all over the world. And the big deal was Joe Johnson, who played for Overseas Elite. And the fun thing is that some of the money from the team that wins goes to donate a donation. And so Sideline Cancer goes to a cancer research, and then there's an ALS one, but everybody has fans that have picked them to win, which I picked Overseas Elite and would have made $59 if they won. Sideline Cancer, you would have won $850 something if you picked them because they were number 22. So they have the fans involved. They have the donations going out. They have the $1 million for the 10 people involved in the team, the coaches and everything. And they play for their life every game. And what I love about it is this Elam ending where it ends on a score, because at the end of 4 quarters, whoever has more points, they tack on 8 points. And then the first team that gets to those 8 points wins the game. They also have different rules for goaltending, as well as I think it's on the 6th foul, you're out. But they use the FIBA rule for goaltending. So there's different rules. And, I don't know why, but the referees seem to do a very good job in this tournament. I don't know if there wasn't fans there is why, but they also proved that the bubble works because over time, the amount of COVID cases came down to 0.3% over the course of 3 weeks. So, Fredo, you and I had a lot of friends playing in this.
Yeah, I got a chance to see all of that.
Yeah, so Scotty Machado was playing for Armored Athlete, and he got player of the game. But then they lost to Overseas Elite, and Overseas Elite has Bobby Brown, Pooh Jeter, Joe Johnson, Frank Session. So I knew a lot of those. And Sideline Cancer actually has Dion Wright. And if you look up Dion Wright, you would sorry about that. If you looked up Dion Wright, you would see if you looked at his face, you'd say, "Oh yeah, that's Dion," because you would recognize him from all the Drew League players. There was a lot of Drew League players, and there was a lot of professional players. So number 22, Sideline Cancer, is going to is going to the finals. And the Golden Eagles beat the Red Scare. And they're I think they're seeded 8th. So it's 8 against 22. So it's not like even the top 10, top 5 people, top 6 people. So very exciting. And the reason Frank didn't play at the end, he said on Instagram today, is because his knees knocked with somebody. Otherwise, he would have been playing. And you know him, he always brings home the win. He always has those clutch threes and everything.
Yep.
He wasn't allowed to. He wasn't playing at the end, and everybody's like, "Why don't you put Frank in?" You know?
And Frank's amazing. Frank's amazing.
Yeah, and I want to shout out to Sideline Cancer because they've retweeted everything I've tagged them in from the beginning.
Wonderful.
So, yeah.
Look at that. Fredo, any thoughts you want to add?
Well, I haven't really kept much in touch with that league going on right now, which is, being broadcast on ESPN nationwide. But I did get a chance to look at a couple highlights and a couple of the things that, like Shereen mentioned, a lot of these guys we've seen at the Drew League and some of the current South Bay Lakers as well. Scott Machado was actually the MVP of the NBL, where LaMelo Ball was playing as well in Australia. So, they had very good quality players out there. And, Frank Nitty's session that, I continue to say, I know Shereen always, that guy deserves a chance to go to the NBA. I can just imagine right now, the team picking him up during this time of the bubble. Just imagine that possibility of having Frank Nitty's session in the NBA right now. He can go crazy for at least 30 points at any given night against any team, because you put him around good players, he's going to be something special. And that's something I just wish, we can possibly see in the future, because, we've talked to him about it. And he's I love what I'm doing right now. That's not something I'm, that he's kind of aiming for. But if it happens, it happens. And I hope it does happen. But hopefully, he's still young. He's a young guy and still playing. He's 3-time MVP of the Drew League as well. So, that guy's something special.
Yeah, and on his team, he had a 36-year-old. He had a Bobby Brown on his team. He had Pooh Jeter. And those guys have a ton of experience. But Frank did a lot of stealing and a lot of defense. And, he would just do everything he could to win. I wish he could have got the money,
Well, watching him at the Drew League last year from now against Trae Young, though, that day when he was faced off against Trae Young, it was an amazing day. It was amazing.
And Trae Young still did well, but Frank did a really good job defending.
And even the previous year, 2 years ago against James Harden, the MVP of the NBA, he was guarding him, going toe with him throughout the whole game.
Jarian Henry was guarding him, and everybody was cheering him on. It was great.
Yeah, it was a crazy environment, but just seeing what Frank Nitty can do himself, and man, I wish and I'm pretty sure he's going to get an opportunity. We don't know where or how, but I'm pretty sure he's going to get a bigger opportunity than he's ever had before.
Yeah, and I think, the hardest guy to guard in any team was Joe Johnson, and he proved that he can still play in the NBA. There's no reason he
ISO Joe right there.
Seasons. They double, triple teamed him, and sometimes he would still make it. He's still in great shape. He says he never stops working out. But anyway, the finals, Golden Eagles versus the Sideline Cancer, and I'm cheering for Sideline Cancer and Dion, and let's hope that worked. They have a 5'9" guard who kills. He just
that's my size right there.
Yeah, and he shoots these 3-pointers. He's the point guard. I forgot his name, but he's Creek. Maybe there's a guy named Creek. And anyway, I like the team. Go follow them. Find out about them before the finals. And that's my report on the TBT tournament, the basketball tournament.
Hey, we have some form of basketball back. I think that's all that really matters. Guys, go ahead and catch the final. And do you like the Elam ending, Fredo? Do you think the NBA should steal it? No, I'm kidding. But do you like the Elam ending?
Do I say that again?
Do you like the Elam ending? How they end by score and not time?
I do, because it's kind of, whoever scores more points, because that's a good thing. Whoever scores the most points faster, I think is a much better team. Instead of having the time limit, but of course, the traditional way has been the time and whatnot, but it wouldn't be too bad to try it sometime. Maybe even it was something similar to what it did at the All-Star game, right? Like something similar
Yeah.
to.
I think they used it, and the thing is, it takes the referees out of who wins the game, and that's what makes
Yeah,
it fun.
right. So that's very good. So hopefully, that'll be something that they can continue in the All-Star game, and maybe say 10, 15 years from now, because I don't think they'll do that anytime soon. Maybe 10, 15 years from now, they'll probably do that for the NBA.
It would
I think
be
it saves time, and how many fouls do you want to watch to stop the clock?
yeah, and it would be great. Just you really would get to see who's clutch and who really can play under pressure. So I kind of was kidding when I said, "Is the NBA going to steal it?" But
What should the limit be? Like, what's the number limit?
It's eight more than the winning team score
yeah,
at the fourth quarter.
target score.
So let's say the
so-
fourth quarter is 75 to 70, and they add 8, so that would be 83. So the first team that makes it to 83. So the team who's ahead only needs to get 8 points, but the team that's behind would have had to get 13 points. So,
How about they just make it straightforward, just like Ralph Lawler's rule? First to 100 wins.
yeah.
And there it is. Whoever
But the
hits
game could
100.
go on and on and on. That's the thing. This way you keep the game to 2 hours, basically.
Yeah, and I guess I was going to say I was kind of kidding when I said if the NBA should steal it, but I kind of find it interesting, seriously, to possibly see who would play under pressure the most. And like Fredo said, maybe in a few years down the road, the NBA will make.
Hey, maybe the NBA preseason might try it or something. The summer,
It's so exciting when they have to get to a certain number. You're like, okay, two more.
Yeah.
And the bench just goes crazy on every basket, so the ending is
instead of waiting for the countdown.
still
of the
fun.
clock.
Yeah, you earn every win. Speaking of the NBA, we want to talk about the NBA bubble. All teams, contending teams are going down to Orlando and Disney World to almost start the season. It is, about a few weeks away for the NBA season, but a lot is coming out with players moving down there, and we want to talk about all of it. I do want to mention, I believe I saw an article today. It was reported that 2 NBA players have tested for coronavirus since they moved down there out of 322 tests. And those 2 players, I believe, are in quarantine. So, guys, I want to get all of your reaction to the madness that's going on in the NBA bubble, from the food to the girls possibly coming down, the violation of rules. We've seen food delivery violation rules. We've kind of seen everything in the NBA bubble. So what's your guys' reaction and how this is going to work out?
I mean, one of the players is Russell Westbrook.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what if LeBron had COVID, But the Lakers did suffer a huge loss because Rondo broke his hand today. So he'll be back in 8 to 9 weeks, supposedly. And then Montrez came out and he tweeted that he went to sleep and he woke up and all of a sudden he's part of some controversy because some, I guess, YouTube star named, what is her name? Ann Maya or something? Ugly Ann or something like that. Anyway, she said that she went to the bubble and the season's about to stop or something like that. Yeah. So he's like, man, I just went to sleep and woke up, and his former teammate Sindarius Thornwell was joking around with him, but backed up his story. So then they started passing pictures of Doc Rivers with this woman, saying that maybe she visited Doc Rivers. But and then we had Ratius, right? The center for the Sacramento Kings decided to go get some food, but the food that he went to pick up was outside the Disney line, the Magic line. So he's now in quarantine for 8 days.
The season hasn't even started yet, and we are already getting all these storylines coming out of the quarantine. I do want to get your guys' opinion on this since we've done our last show, and since the players have moved down, it's another controversy about the food situation. A few players are kind of disappointed with the food situation down in Orlando, and it's caused a whole controversy with the hotel food. So I want to get your guys' reaction to that food is it tone deaf that these players are complaining?
Well, yeah, I mean, these players should not be complaining that much about food. First of all, I mean, it is Disney World. I'm pretty sure it's good enough food, way better than you normally would get at any nice hotel somewhere else. But I forgot who it was. I saw something on Twitter that they mentioned.
Rondo.
Yeah.
It was
Who
Rondo.
was
That
Rondo?
teach you a lesson. Don't complain about your food. You might break your hand.
Hey, that's a good one right there. But yeah, seriously, I mean, I don't know. I think they should just not complain, not show exactly what's in the bubble. Even though some people like us, we want to know how it looks in there, what they're eating, what they're doing every single day, which we saw last night. Quinn Cook, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis were playing NBA 2K20 on PlayStation last night, all night long. So it's like you look at what these players are doing while they're just in their hotel rooms. But food-wise or whatnots, I mean, it looked decent enough. I mean, I don't know what they're complaining. I know they're used
Fresh
to
food
big
and
old
bags,
meals.
you know?
Yeah, they're used to big old meals, nice, fancy ones. But I mean, in a time like this, you gotta get what you get, you know?
Yeah, and if you go to Danny Green's Instagram, he takes you through the hotel and the experience of what it is to be in the bubble. And some media guys have the same exact room as the NBA players. I think the hardest thing is to be away from people, to not be. Yeah, I mean, God knows what they do when they're on the road. You know, they're who's faithful, who's not faithful, who's single, who's not. You know, what are they really giving up? But their friends and family can visit, and I heard in 5 weeks they can have a visit, a conjugal visit, while they're in jail playing basketball. But you know, the thing that to me was controversial was that both Anthony Davis and LeBron James are going to use their last names on their jerseys. And to me, it's all about the money. I don't buy what they're saying. It's about the money. They must have some contract or something that when they play in the NBA, their name is very valuable and they need to use their name. That's
especially like a guy like LeBron James.
Or Anthony Davis, right?
Yeah, those guys, they got to have their name on their back. But that's good for them to go ahead and do that. And, you know, they like LeBron said, he said today or yesterday, he's like, that's just, you know, it's, of course, my mission. He's like, that's what I'm here for. He's like Dave James and anything else. So,
but do you think it would have been nice if they put statements on the back of their jerseys?
There is a lot of players are doing it.
No, I'm saying players like the caliber of LeBron James. So I guess we're specifically, talking about LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Do you think it would have been nice if they would have put some sort of statement on the back of their jerseys, or do you think that it's okay and it's kind of an overreaction that they're putting their names to the back of the jersey?
I think the Players Association probably should have made a deal that they can have their names and have a saying.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, that's just me. I don't know.
I mean, I do want to say LeBron James has done his fair share of activism. I don't want to seem like we're shading.
I know, I get it.
Yeah, I don't want to seem like we are shading LeBron James here because he has his fair share.
Well, he gets criticism about China a lot. But they make a lot. The NBA makes a lot of money from people in China. The last thing they want is the government of China. They used to,
thanks to Daryl Morey.
Huh?
Thanks to Daryl Morey, not that much anymore.
I think the fans are still buying the jerseys, but I don't think anybody wants to speak out about Hong Kong because they're going to lose money. And in this economy, if someone wants to buy a jersey because they're playing and they see LeBron James's name on TV because there's nothing else to watch, then I don't think they want to lose that money, honestly.
But the crazy number that I saw earlier today was that about like 20, I think somewhere around 20 players are wearing their own names on the back. Everyone else has a message. So that's a
300 people, yeah.
That's a big amount of people that are putting a message on their jerseys, and just a few are wearing their original names on the back. So I thought it would be the opposite.
Yeah, I mean, you know who LeBron is. You don't need his.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, oh, wait a minute, who is that again? You know,
yeah, I thought that was crazy.
NBA fan. I think it's contractual, and they don't want to say it, but it is what it is.
If it is. And the situation with moving forward, I guess we will see how the season is impacted with all of the quarantine rules. If players test, you know, in the future, that could possibly impact the season. We did see with the TBT that as long as the quarantine rules are enforced, that, you know, the coronavirus cases really do go down. So hopefully the NBA players and reporters and coaches and whoever's down there can follow the quarantine rules, and hopefully we will have a good NBA season, because we here at In the Front Row have been waiting for the NBA season to return. So we're going to look forward to that. Guys, I do want to talk about another controversial topic that hit the sports world this week, and it is with the franchise of, well, now formerly known as the Washington Redskins, and they are going to change their name. The Redskins released a press release saying that they are retiring the Redskins name, and they will be announcing a new name soon. I believe they're having trademark issues with their chosen name. That's why there is a certain holdup. So I want to get your guys' opinion to this, because it's really ignited a fire across all sports with even other franchises and pressuring them to possibly change their names. I believe the Braves said they were not going to change their name. I don't think any other franchise has really come out publicly and said anything that I know of. I might be wrong. But with the Redskins, do you guys agree with the name change?
You go first, Fredo.
You have time?
Yeah, well, you know, with the name change situation, I guess it's what's best for business at the end of the day, because it's a business move what they're doing. You know, that you had so many of their sponsors, so many of their supporters starting to back away and take their money away from the team, and the team had to do something about it. I mean, I guess, you know, it's been something that's been going on for so many years that, you know, the Redskins name and the logo of the name, the logo of the team, I mean, and it's something that's going to be kind of good for them, because now they're going to have to start something new jersey sales, just sales and money. That brings a lot of money for the Washington, whatever they're going to be called, which I read it through a couple of names earlier today that I kept seeing on Twitter trending and whatnot, and I think the one that actually fits them, I think it should be the Washington Knights. The Washington Knights, I think that kind of goes with them. And, you know, they get something put together, just money coming into that city and to that team overall. And, you know, it's going to make everyone happy throughout the league, everyone that's had a problem with it. Because apparently there's some people that don't have a problem and people that do. I mean, that's with everything overall, not just sports. I mean, everyone has a problem with this, some people don't. So, but, you know, at the end of the day, it's a business move. And, you know, other teams have done it before, but, you know, third time now.
So the two other options I saw were the Red Tails, which are you know, from, I think it was World War II, and the Black Fighters. God, it's escaping me, damn it. I feel so badly. I forgot what they're called, but they're still, some of them are still around, I believe. And the other one was the Generals. And since it isn't Washington and he was a general, that kind of makes
well, yeah, they already have the Washington Generals in baseball, right? Or where was it at?
Franchise, yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah. And then people were coming up with all kinds of. The thing that I thought was really funny was the Washington Rednecks.
Wow.
I
guess is another racial overtone thing, but I thought that was kind of funny.
I do believe FedEx has also said they would pull out, or they strongly advised the Redskins to change their name. FedEx Field is, FedEx is the sponsor of their stadium. So it's really, like Fredo said, at the end of the day, if they want to resume business, I don't think they personally have a choice. And over the past few years, it's not like the Redskins have been, whatever their new name will be, has been that legit of a franchise. Like, they've been terrible over the past few years. I know they've had a few playoff appearances, but I'm just saying it's not like, you know, they have a lot of tradition to uphold. Do you guys agree?
They're the Redskin fans. If you've ever met them, they're full on decked out from head to toe. Mm-hmm. But they did do a survey of the ticket holders to see which names they like the most. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they don't have a choice, but, you know, we will see when they announce the new name moving forward, and we will see what logo they come up with, because they are retiring the logo as well. I believe they are keeping their colors, so we will see what they kind of do with that. And it's,
Well, I mean, we don't like the Ram. Do we all like what the Rams did? They changed everything. Does it even look like a Ram?
But that new logo is just ugly. It's
That's what
already
I'm
saying.
saying. They changed their name and they didn't have to.
But Washington might just change their colors as well, because it's going to make it a little different if they change the colors or they keep the same color scheme or whatnot.
Look
But
at the Miami Heat. They changed their colors and it's cool. It's black and pink.
yeah,
I think
Yes. This is the Miami Heat now.
I think I saw something where they were going to keep their colors, but I guess we will see when everything is brought to the light, and we'll see, what name they come up with, and if people personally agree with it, we'll see that moving forward. We do also want to get into baseball. I know Shereen and I talked about it a little bit at the end of our last episode, but we want to talk about it with Fredo since he's back with us. And Fredo, it's going to be a 60-game MLB season, and then, of course, the playoffs that is set to resume very soon. So we want to get your takes on the MLB. What do you think of a 60-game season? I guess we'll start there.
well, it's better, I guess. It's kind of the same thing because on the regular season, with regular baseball, when we had it, at this time of the year, this is when it starts getting better, because once we start hitting July 31st, we have the MLB trade deadline on July 31st, and right out there, the roster start expanding. It starts getting just a crunch time now. That's 2 months left for baseball. So it's just kind of like, we just fast forward towards the end of the season. So this is a good thing. Now every game's really going to count. Any team cannot just go and get swept on the weekend series anymore, because you get swept on 3 games straight, you might lose your opportunity to get onto the top of the bracket, because we only got 60 games, so you got a little bit of wiggle room down there. So you're gonna really see the good teams now really kind of push it forward, because before you had teams that started very good for the first, say, 100 games. In the last 62, they probably went 20 and 42 or whatever. So you're going to now see some very good teams. But one thing that I'm just excited for, July 23rd, opening day for the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium, even though there's going to be no fans just yet. I mean, they're still trying to push for fans later on in the year. But, as we were talking about earlier today, just today in LA County and everywhere else in California, we're going to get on another shutdown. So we don't know how soon we can possibly get out there again. I'm not going to be interested in possibly stepping foot into a Dodger Stadium game or even a Lakers game if the opportunity do come, maybe till next year. But it's just very exciting just to see baseball, because I'm not sure if you guys checked it out. They're playing the Dodgers against the Dodgers right now. They're having the practice games between each other. So it's very exciting to see that on Sportsnet LA, on the local channel here in LA, where you get to see the Dodgers play each other. You get to see Clayton Kershaw against Mookie Betts. That's a great matchup right there that you normally won't see.
The Dodgers are on DirecTV now, right?
Yes, right. So everyone that has DirecTV now, Verizon, Spectrum, everything, now you get the Dodger channel and the Laker channel, which is a Spectrum Sports set. So just exciting just to get baseball just right around the corner, and hopefully, it's just same situation. It's going to be that year that you might see a team win it, and you might be like, oh crap. But if I were to make a prediction, if it's not the Dodgers winning it, it might not even be the Yankees. It's going to be the Minnesota Twins. Minnesota Twins have an amazing squad this year. They're actually being ranked 2nd and 3rd through both MLB Network and ESPN. So they got some very good young talent. But young kids right now could be a very good thing, because those older cats might not be able to kind of keep their strength throughout this small season. So the young kids have a very good advantage to this situation. So I think the sleeper might be the Minnesota Twins.
The only problem with the Twins is they are going to have to get by the Yankees, and they lost to the Yankees last postseason, I believe. So they would have to get by the Yankees. The Twins have a lot of young talent, but they need a deeper pitching rotation, in my opinion, watching them last season. It is going to be interesting, just because I know Shereen and I talked about this. Usually baseball, you kind of have like a 60-game pocket anyway. Teams usually win, or 40-game pocket, I would say. Teams usually win around 60 games at the bottom and then near 100 at the top. So everyone is kind of in between. everything or those numbers. So it really comes down, baseball really comes down to that. It comes down to about 40 or 50 games, and if you win those games. So it's going to be exciting. No team can start off slow and then make a summer run like some teams have in the past. They get hot at the right time in September and then carry that into the playoffs and go far in the playoffs. Like you said, you might see a team that possibly we weren't thinking that could win, possibly, sneak into the playoffs and make a run if they get hot for 20 games at the end of the season just due to the 60 games. And I think that even to begin with, I've always thought baseball is kind of too long of a season. They should cut it down to make it more interesting. So it's going to be a very, very interesting baseball season coming up. And like you said, it all starts near the end of July. And obviously we cannot wait. And hopefully, Shereen and I were talking about this, hopefully in the future, not in the beginning of the season when things are safer, hopefully we'll get to Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, hopefully. It'd be nice. But hopefully playoffs start in October for both teams. But, NBA's in the bubble. But baseball might be open for fans in October. So it's going to be crazy, but I still don't think I'll make a run out there, especially depending on how bad the situation gets. Right now, it seems like we're going worse than we did back in late March. And it's kind of scary to go ahead and look at that now. And hopefully it's more situation by October.
I mean, talking about all that stuff, the NCAA might have college basketball and football in the same season.
Yep.
That's going to be nice. I'm not against that.
The Pac-12 is following along with the Ivy League and postponing their fall football.
Because the other crazy thing, too, is we're going to have potentially the Lakers and the Dodgers World Series NBA Finals on the same week.
Well, what about NFL?
And the NFL's going to be in the middle of week, 5, 6, 7, and 8?
Inundated.
And that month of October is going to be possibly one of the best sports months that we've ever seen. But it's going to be crazy.
Glue my ass down to
seriously.
I'm in quarantine anyway.
Right.
Excuse to watch sports.
Don't forget about hockey either.
Hockey.
We'll leave hockey on the side, Dylan.
I'm just showing some love for hockey, okay?
Even the Sparks, WNBA is getting back in action.
Well, aren't they playing where are they playing? Are they in Orlando as well?
I'm not sure.
No, I think they're in their cities.
They showed some pictures of rat traps and stuff. Like they're like, "Don't complain, NBA. Look at us."
Woo!
Yeah.
Well, good luck on them, but just can't wait for October. I guess it's going to be hard to kind of choose whether the Lakers and the Dodgers are playing at the same time. Which game can you watch? Which game do you want? What are you picturing?
The Lakers and the Dodgers. I would watch the Lakers game to catch the last 3 innings of the Dodger game.
I thought I was like, I'll tune into basketball just because it's a faster pace.
You can watch both.
Yeah, true. You can get them on multiple screens. So
too much.
But it's gonna be too much excitement.
What happens if the Lakers are playing, the Rams are playing, and then the Arizona Wildcats are playing? Then what?
It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy, but it's gonna be exciting. Just to go ahead and see. But
I'm thinking positively.
Yeah. We're gonna go from no sports to everything at once.
Yep.
Once they perfect the bubble, I think we'll have it'll work.
But do you guys actually think there's a possibility of maybe one of the leagues shutting down due to the coronavirus? Because I
think the NCAA would be the most risky because they're student athletes.
I think out of professional sports, no. I think there's too much money involved, and unfortunately, I think they're going to choose money over people's health. Which I mean,
that's first.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's
normally what they're going to do because that's their mentality. And
there's way too much money involved with the NCAA. I believe the season will be pushed back. Just because I told Shereen pre-show that I was reading, I believe, an article from Yahoo where a high college official basically said once one of the Power 5 conferences follow the Ivy League and cancel their fall sports, everyone else is going to follow. It's kind of going to be like when the
Ivy League didn't cancel. The Ivy League just pushed it.
Well, I shouldn't say postpone.
Stanford canceled.
The
team.
It's kind of going to be like the conference tournaments in basketball when one went, I believe it's going to be a domino or a
Well,
domino effect.
and they're saying they're only going to play teams within the conference, so they're not going out of conference.
I guess we'll see. At least if it does get pushed back, which I think it most likely will, at least we'll have professional sports to watch.
We'll have something. I think the TBT proved that the bubble works. So let's have some bubble sports. I'm all for it. Even bubble soccer, where they get in the bubbles and then they try to kick and fall over.
Isn't the MLB?
Anyway, ready to wrap it up there, Dylan?
Yeah, we are ready to wrap it up. Guys, thanks.
I want to say one thing before we go.
Wait, okay, we'll do our shout-outs.
Shout out.
Oh, shout-outs too. You know what? I guess I'm going to shout out a guy that Shereen knows very well. One of the guys that I know is going to be the key player in order for the Lakers to actually have a chance in winning it this year. I want to shout out Alex Caruso.
Woo, AC Fresh.
This is his moment for him to step up to the plate. He's stepping up to the plate with bases loaded and nobody else, because that's the situation he's stepping into right now with the so right now Caruso might get that spot depending if the Lakers might not sign or pick up somebody else between this time and now. I'm not sure if they're able to do that, but
I don't think they are. I heard they weren't. Eric said they can't.
Yeah, I don't think they can. So hopefully Alex Caruso can be the player that's going to really step up, because you see the plus minus numbers with him and LeBron on the court at the same time. It's better than Dwayne Wade and LeBron James. So it's kind of crazy to think that, but that's what it is when both of those two guys are on the court. Something about it. Watching highlights on Instagram the other day, someone posted up those highlights of Caruso to LeBron, and it's just amazing and impressive what they can do together. But that's the guy that I want to shout out right now. So Alex Caruso, you're the man. If it's not you, then we ain't winning anything.
Well, I'll say the same thing, because you know how Alex is. Ice in his veins, Alex. And nothing phases that guy. Not praise, not anybody saying something wrong about it. He just goes out and he plays in the zone. And it's not just him that's getting a chance now, because Rondo's gone now. So now Quinn Cook is going to move into that spot. I don't know. Like the coaches are going to have to do something until Rondo comes back. And then I guess Lionel Hollins, shout out to Lionel, that he's out here where we live, soaking up the sun while he's coaching basketball. So let's go Lakers. Let's get that championship.
I guess we will see. I don't really have a shout out. I didn't really come prepared for one. But
Come on, Dylan, throw somebody out there.
I just think it's important, because we haven't touched on it all show, to continue with the Black Lives Matter movement. And I do want to say that as here in the front row, we continue to support that. We've had athletes on and come and share their experiences. So I do want to say, keep signing petitions, keep donating, keep doing your thing. It's not a trend. That's all. That's my shout out.
Vote.
Yes, and vote. Vote is very important.
We do have a number of athletes wanting to join us. We just haven't got to work out, but we have Alex Marzette, and we have I just posted an article about him, and other people that want to come on our show. So we'll get back to that. We've been waiting, but we'll get back to that soon too.
We're trying to schedule it, but we will get that. That's how we're going to end the show. Guys, thanks for joining me for another lovely show. I'm sure we'll be back on YouTube soon, and Josh will be back with us soon as well. Go ahead and subscribe to us if you haven't already, so you can see our content when it is first posted. Hit that notification bell and follow us on all social media. Besides that, guys, it is a wrap for Fredo and Shereen. I'm Dylan. We'll see you next time.
Stay safe.